Good evening, guys. How are you doing? Hope you're good. So, I thought I'd do a random live, just because the missus is out working, little one's in bed, and the other one's upstairs watching YouTube. So I thought I had a bit of time. I thought I'd just do a live and just try and give you some value. So if you're coming through, do like, comment, and share. Let me know that you've been through. If you've got anything you want me to cover, any questions you want me to answer, then just stick them in the comments. So the thing that I want to talk about, and the reason I'm doing this live is because with one of my guys who's in my mastermind, I had a chat with him today. And we were talking about evolving through the different chapters of his life. And he's 60 years old. And he was talking about how he's evolved so much, all the way back from being 35. And one of the things that he regrets is not living on his terms, which is a really strong regret. And I hate the word regret. And regret is probably the heaviest emotion that we carry, right? We regret the things that we don't do enough. We regret we don't do the workout. We regret things that we've said in anger. And I just kind of wanted to maybe put my own point of view across to you of how I see this. And this is how I sort of see my my journey. Maybe you can take that analogy and kind of make it your own and make it relative for you. So I kind of look at life as writing your own book. And as the heading states, it's if you think about a blank canvas and all the way through your life, you just create different chapters of your life. So you would have had a chapter between your 20s, early 20s to your late 20s, till you met your missus, till you got engaged, till you got married, till then you suddenly have children, then you suddenly started this whole new life of responsibility and stress of changing nappies, and you're like, what the fuck, how did this happen? And then suddenly you kind of lose the momentum of your book. It's kind of like where things stall, right? And kids are great and kids are brilliant, but we as men tend to forget life because suddenly we're just focused on this one thing, protecting our family, looking after our family. And those things are brilliant, but they're brilliant and to the point where you stop focusing on yourself and you stop creating your own chapters and you stop creating life on your terms and you stop doing the things that you love, because then life gets a little bit dry, right? We end up being unmotivated, we end up getting fat, we end up becoming quite sad and not really knowing who we are. And then what ends up happening is the family that you were so keen to look after, the way that you become mentally, physically, emotionally, then has a massive impact on that chapter of your life. So we tend to not live life on our own terms then. And this is where we end up crashing. This is when we end up falling down. We forget how to live our lives. We're not sure how to live our lives, I think, sometimes as well. We're not sure, when can I work out? How can I stop eating as a coping mechanism? How can I stop drinking, smoking, taking drugs, doing whatever it is that you do? And I think when it comes to you living on your terms, and what I mean by that is that you are taking control of your life, your situation, and saying that I want to be healthy, I want to eat well, I want some routine in my life, I want some good habits, I want some structure, I want to be first again, I want to make myself the priority. And the confliction is suddenly that chapter you wrote about having your family and your babies and your children and your wife, you then have to be the best version of yourself. So you have to kind of conflict because you have to start learning to prioritize yourself. And when you prioritize yourself, you have to be selfish. So I think that when you slip into that mode of being a little bit selfish and a little bit more priority on yourself and you become number one priority, you live life on your terms. And then you start creating the flow of your chapters of your book again. You start looking forward to workouts, challenges, goals, races, other things that drive you, that turn you on, that get you going. Do you know what I mean? And then you can find the balance of building the chapter with the family, but building the chapter for yourself. And as men, we don't do that. And because we don't do that, we stay in that rut and that mindset, and that's why we stay with bad habits, right? Because they become identity-based habits, because we're so used to living that same way of life. We're so used to putting off the gym, putting off ourselves, eating shit food, self-sabotaging, drinking, being angry, not nurturing our relationships with our wife, and causing real issues in the relationship. We kind of forget ourselves. And as joyful as kids are, as amazing as they are, as much as they make us and want us to be a better person, sometimes we forget that and unconsciously we slip. So I want to ask you kind of like where you're going to go next in your chapter. Are you going to keep writing the book that you're writing? Is it kind of dull? Is it kind of like stressful? Is it kind of knocking your back? Or are you going to start making some chapters that are going to be a little bit different to the way you're living your life now? More energy, more fulfillment, more purpose, more drive, more passion. A higher level of living. So in terms that you're living life on your terms. If you're not happy in your job, then fucking quit your job and find another one. If you're not happy in the routine that you're in and you feel fat and you're unhealthy and you're unfit, then change that. Don't keep writing the same book with the same chapters, heading in the same way. Because eventually everything's going to catch up on you. And the way that you live your life now and the chapters and the way you're writing your book now will be the same in 10 years. And I just wanted to bring this up with you because after the conversation with my client, we really had a moment where it all made sense. And even at 60, he was able to see the positive side and see the relevance of what we spoke about and what we've just talked about creating the next chapter. To the guy, I said to him, he's got another 40 years. He's got another 40 years to write his book and his chapters and fulfill his life and everything that he ever wanted to achieve. And a lot of people will naysayers will say, "No, you can't do it. You got to fucking work. You got to live." Negative. You gotta. If you're gonna shine, you gotta fucking stick your neck out, and you've got to take some serious action. Small wins. I don't mean fucking overload yourself in the first couple of weeks, but consistently building a change of thought process, a change of habits, change of environment and the people that you hang around with. Because when you hang around with warriors, you become a warrior. When you hang around with moany, miserable dickheads, you become a miserable, moany dickhead, right? Aspire to be around positive people. Aspire to listen to amazing people that want to make you be better. Or keep writing the same fucking book you've been writing for the last couple of years. If you want to come and see me, let's talk. It's going to be end of April. I've got no definite dates, but I'm kind of hoping it's going to be the 25th. I'm going to see a venue in February. Once that's up and running, I'm sending out tickets to my email list. You want to be on that email list, it's right there. First come, first serve. So if you're on the email list, you'll get tickets. You won't definitely get tickets, but you'll be first to know that there's tickets. All right, guys, I hope that's a little pep talk kind of helped you if you had a shit Monday. We all have shit Mondays every now and then. We have a shit day. Sleep it off, wake up tomorrow, go again, write the next chapter of your book, and make sure it's a fucking gold chapter tomorrow, yeah? All right, have a good night.